So I had the idea while listening to a podcast while mowing for a new cube idea. While listening to Cube Reviews, Ian Braverman's podcast, talking to Max Richards about his virtually French cube. And I was just mowing, and then I was listening, and I had this brainstorm. So I was like, "Ooh, what if I didn't work on this cube at all?" I just made note of the idea, and then I kind of recorded my process in case that could be interesting to anyone else. Because I've had people ask me like, how do you go about designing your cubes? And I know from talking to like Lucky Paper people that my method of Scryfall with a add to list feature is not common. So I'm gonna show that off, I guess. But so the thought I had, Ian's talking to Max, and they are talking about virtually French, which is a lower power cube without much complexity. And it's mentioned that it's often correct in low power environments to take bombs, removal, card advantage. And my immediate thought upon hearing that was like, what if a cube didn't have that? And it was low power, but what would you do if those aren't present? And what would a cube without those things look like? So the thought is just, what does a cube without removal look like? The idea would then be that creatures dying only die in combat. So you're choosing to block with them, and then it becomes kind of a combat trick centric cube. And then I expanded that idea out a little bit more, that creatures and players can only die in combat. So there's no burn spells, there's no edicts, there's no effect that kills a creature unless it is attacking or blocking. Or players. You can't lose to mill out. There's no other way to win a game except by reducing your opponent from 20 to 0. And then I was thinking, how do the archetypes look in that cube if it's just a bunch of creatures with combat stats, and then it's mostly combat tricks that are where the interesting part of the game comes from. So I remembered in Ikoria, the creatures had keywords matter draft archetypes. Green, white, vigilance, and black, red, menace, and like vigilance matters, green keywords. They had keyword counters, which mattered, and that I don't know if I want to include that, but having your draft be around a certain keyword and then taking certain combat tricks higher because of the keyword you're specializing in is where I think the meat of this idea might exist. I also had the idea because after I decided that it would be like Valhalla, that nothing would leave the graveyard. It's just a one-way hand to battlefield, battlefield to graveyard, things stay in the graveyard. And then no tokens, because they don't have souls. Can go to Valhalla. They have to be a creature card that will go to Valhalla and exist in Valhalla. And maybe no counters. This is kind of like verging on the bar cube space, I think, or I don't know that this is an idea that could even be fleshed out to 360 cards effectively. So it's probably not going to be very large. Maybe a 4-player bar cube environment could make sense. So because I love bar cubes being deserts and not having a separate land station, that's the first thought, is that it will be a desert and have lands in the draft.
That sounds fun.
So that's the idea. And from here, we get to building. So I have Scryfall, and I have my list already worked on. Oops, switch to Valhalla. Great, my list is Valhalla. My first thought is that I need a way to make creatures, like target creature, die. So the ways that we do that in Magic are provoke, and there is a spell that is also provoke. So I know that this one is going to probably be important. It's in the list. There are other ways to make a creature block this turn if able, but I don't think they untap them, so let's see. They don't.
How complex are you expecting creatures to be?
Not super complex. The idea is that nothing is so complex that it requires removal to answer. It's going to be a lot of smaller creatures. This makes it untap. Other creatures that player controls can't block, though. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But we'll see, maybe. This is a point that I'm conflicted on. I don't really want creatures that are valuable outside of combat. So this is a cool effect, a creature being forced to block. This is a less cool effect, because if it's able to repeatedly generate value and you can't make it die, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't like risk itself in combat to be triggered. It could be too powerful.
Yeah, but this one, I guess it's like, I think that's true, but I guess this one's interesting in particular because you can't trigger it unless you go to combat with other creatures in this cube, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Like,
Because you can't just
because
use
I
you just
assume
kill
also
yourself.
no like sacrifice effects. That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
seem very
exactly. Yeah, no
Valhalla.
edict, not even your own.
So yeah, actually,
sacrifice effects.
this one actually might be interesting because you do have to go to combat with it, and you just cast a 4-drop that you want to not attack with, which in this cube might be really bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm convinced. So, okay, so that's the first thought, is how do we actually remove things? And it is provoke and effects like provoke. I don't know about a bunch of these big things, but I like these smaller things. That's in... I think this guy is going to be kind of a poster child effect. Because it doesn't have an inherent way to accrue value, but you could keep, as long as you keep having spells to make it be good, it could keep taking things down, which is cool. Like, I really would love an environment where Grappler is actually a really threatening card. I I also thought briefly about having only humanoids, only sapient things that could go to Valhalla. So, no cat beasts. But I don't know. I don't know if I will commit to that yet.
One mechanic that immediately pops into my mind as both flavorfully and mechanically tied to this that might be interesting to look at is Exert.
Okay.
Because that only triggers when, maybe not only, but mostly only triggers when you go to combat.
Mm-hmm. When it attacks.
And that original set was all like a lot of the Exert stuff is based around going through the trials and being found worthy and then dying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good idea. I've just decided no artifact creatures. Because they, like tokens, probably don't have a soul that can go to Valhalla. Yeah, this is a lot of, like, exactly the kind of flavor I wanted. Great call out.
And not technically every Exert card works, right? Like Hope Tender might not be the thing, but
Yeah. No,
but
it
like
is a great start for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of them just have keywords that...
Yeah.
Very good.
One of the biggest worries that I would have is just how to make sure that the attacker is not always advantaged.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and get into the custom idea I had. So, as I was thinking about this, trying not to think too hard off camera, I guess. As I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, if it's all creatures and spells that are affecting combat, it's going to be difficult to manipulate your hand because you don't want to play like Opt unless you're into some weird prowess deck, and there's not going to be a lot of ways to do things that don't affect combat profitably. Like, I guess Explore is like a way that you can deck filter while affecting a creature that's going to go to combat. But I was thinking of, like, what if there was some way to do kind of hand filtering? Obviously, cycling is not great when it comes, because then you're getting rid of something. So it's great on lands, but you're on your creatures and spells, you're probably not going to cycle because you mostly going to be committing creatures to the board and spells to affecting combat. So my thought was, as I was thinking it, like, what if we had some way to loot, so that if we're flooded or mana screwed, that we have some way to get through it. I had that rattling around in my head, and I was thinking, Valhalla has this connotation of, like, I want to die in battle. Could there be a reward for a creature dying in combat? What are some creatures dying rewards that exist? And for whatever reason, the first one that came to mind was, I think, Moonlit Wake. But it was your creatures. So it was whenever a creature you control dies, gain life. But not all creatures you control. So like anything that can make them lose life is out because you don't want to win that way. That is not through combat. So I was looking at all these options and thinking about them, and then I remembered Gate to the Afterlife from Amonkhet. And that's kind of what Valhalla is, or where you're getting to through combat is the afterlife, and then combat and dying in combat is the gate to the afterlife. Obviously, a bunch of this is erroneous text, but the thing that I made based on that thought, if I was going to have a custom component to this, was this. So if you're in a position where you're losing, you're behind on board, you can be chump blocking, gaining life, and looting to find a way to get back in the game. And the winner gets to keep their thing in play if they're still advantaged on board and doesn't gain life and doesn't loot. They remain winning on board.
I like that.
And because Cade can't make this, I gave him a little sneak preview of what the topic was going to be. I was kind of like representing with my hands, like, so nothing comes back from the graveyard. You play things onto the board. This gate emblem's on your right. And then when your creatures die, you pass them through the gate to do the trigger into the graveyard, which is on the right side of the gate.
Yeah.
Board,
That's
combat,
beautiful.
and then you don't miss your triggers because you're putting the creatures across the emblem as you put them into the graveyard, and they never come back from the graveyard, so there's no confusion about that. That's the
Yeah,
only
I
custom
do
component
like.
that I'm considering for this.
I mean, how stringent are you planning on being with your card choice? Because I'm envisioning like your card pool being pretty small, but I don't, as far
Yes.
as like what you're looking for.
Yeah, I expect it will be pretty small. Like I said, ideally they will be sapient creatures that could go to an afterlife and have thoughts and feelings about the afterlife. So not monsters, not beasts, not horrors, not artifact creatures. And then ideally they are warriors, berserkers, barbarians, that kind of thing. But obviously on Amonkhet we have a big swath of creatures that don't exactly meet that description, like rogues and clerics and scouts, but like different groups that went through the trials that didn't have the stereotypical trial creature type. And so I don't want to rule those out of hand.
Sure. I was gonna, yeah, I'm just wondering if there's maybe a little bit of something that needs to give, just because I'm envisioning like, especially I don't know what size this cube is, but I'm envisioning it being difficult to like um like elegantly fill up a 360, for example, with cards that meet this
Yes.
description. Like there might not be enough, and then you're going to be kind of
I agree.
a little bit.
I said that at the beginning, that I don't think this can fill out 360. So great minds think
Sure.
alike.
Okay.
I'm thinking more of like a 4-player bar cube desert type situation, with
see.
maybe
And then
240 cards.
and just make it multiplayer.
Yes, it could be multiplayer.
That's sarcasm. Don't do that. It's a nightmare.
Well, glorious combat. No, a 4-player desert, 240 card pool, and then maybe you just play 2 rounds, or you can round robin if you're having a great time.
Right. That tracks.
I put this in the chat, but I mean, Kaldheim obviously feels like really tied in. I think Boast is another mechanic similar to Exert that feels like it ties in well.
Yep, I agree. Let's do that.
And then the other thing is Control plus W closes a single tab, if that feels helpful.
Thank you. Actually, Control W closes a tab? Interesting. I always did Control Shift F4, or Control F4. Yeah, Control F4. Neat. Good talk. Boast is good. So this is another thing that I'm worrying about, is anything that can get repeated plus counters, like continuous value. I don't want to end up in a situation where only big removal or exactly death touch would answer it. I think I want to be more in temporary boost situation. Like this is probably fine without tokens. Having to risk itself to get this effect every time. I just think there's so many dinky vanilla and French vanilla creatures that it will not be difficult to fill up a 240. I agree that you could be stretching thin to fill up a 480.
How are you feeling about like joust through type effects? Like target attacking creature.
Yeah, I am curious. I'm interested in those.
I feel like Ride Down is going to bang really hard in this cube, which is sick because I love Ride Down.
Yeah, I feel like target tapped because I saw target tapped where like the in Kaldheim where the illustration seems sweet, but then tapped, if you're doing exert and then something dies the turn
Yeah, that's
after
right,
it
that
went
doesn't
into
work.
combat, like that doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
has to
like
be in
specifically
combat.
target attacking. I guess target attacking or blocking is like a classic white thing.
Mm-hmm. Condemn feels like extra brutal. You do not get to go to Valhalla. You just go away.
You're not going to draw a card and discard a card and gain a life.
You
And
get to
pass-
gain
and-
a bunch
and
of
pa-
life.
And pass go. Go straight to 0.
Oh, actually, this is going to miss some things. There's stuff that deals divided damage among attacking or blocking creatures. Oops. Like Arrow Volley Trap. Yeah, I mean, this has the combat flavor almost all the time. So you're still dying in combat, even though it's with a removal spell. And this is something that a giant growth type effect could save you from.
Yeah, no, this seems
Yeah.
that seems like perfect.
Yeah, it does seem like you'll definitely some kind of stack interaction or like stack things to put on the stack as opposed to creatures on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like negate, you can do like negates and the variants on negate, but not essence scatters or things that hit
Yes.
anything.
Yep.
Like you can't counter
Yeah,
creatures.
that makes sense.
Yep, I agree.
What's it won't work, but it would. The card Admiral's Orders seems like it would be really sick, but
Is that the raid one?
Yeah, but obviously it just counters anything. So
Yeah, it could counter a creature spell with flash. I love the
Yeah.
idea though.
Well, you could counter. I mean, you could just pass and counter something.
Oh yes,
Like it
it
definitely.
it's just a
You-
counter spell.
it's just a counter spell.
Yeah, I guess raid is just like obviously the foundation, the most foundational and printed in foundations keyword that fits this so well.
Yeah, a lot of these fit the kind of vibe exactly that I'm going for. I worry that it's only in white, but
Likely you'll find a couple in black, if I had to guess.
I do.
Yeah, I
Maybe
feel
a
like
hybrid- maybe
I
like
think you'll
a
see a
hybrid
couple,
red-white
but
card.
yeah, you'll see hybrids, but like it is such a white effect to make them go to combat to deal damage, stuff like that. But yeah, I'll think on like other colors. I mean, like green, red, white, I guess are the big combat. No, black also, everything but blue kind of has the combat tricks. No, blue has the like minus power combat tricks. I feel like they all have combat
Blue
trick
has,
stuff.
yeah, they definitely do. Blue has minus power and like suit up type effects where it's like changes the stats of a creature, like Starwind development. for
Yeah,
example.
you're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, but what about yeah, it might
Finally.
just be in white.
Finally, the righteousness cube.
Is this cube gonna have
Uh,
like equipments as a theme? Kind of going on the whole combat deal?
As long as they don't give such, honestly, I don't know. Like equipment
Like
would
bone splitter stuff like that.
well, equipment
No
would feel
ninjas doing
great as for the flavor, but the problem is that if it's continuous value, then I would need like a shatter or something to answer it. A plus counter that
Well,
you
it
could move
depends on
around
how-
forever is pretty strong.
I don't think I wouldn't. consider something to be continuous value unless it's netting, like unless it's accruing value, like turn over turn. Like I don't think that putting a short sword on something is any more continuous value than putting a 1/1 on the board is.
Really?
Yeah,
Plus,
I think that like it's for the record. I think I think it would be good, but I don't think that it's like. I think that it directly requires combat to be relevant, assuming that you're not putting in like ninjas kunais or whatever.
what about auras in that case then? So if the creature does die, then the problem goes away with it.
I'm more interested in auras as long as they don't provide such insane value that removal
Yeah,
would be
I mean,
absolutely
I
necessary.
My only concern with auras is that they are often statted for a game where removal exists, and so therefore provide an outsized value because
Only in the
when
last 10
someone
years.
interacts with them, you're automatically 2-for-1.
Only
Yeah,
in the
that's
last
true.
10
I mean, like
years.
you could definitely find bad auras, but like you can also find bad equipment. Like there's just scads of equipment that is kind of bad because they were really broken when they first put in them. So I think it's
yeah,
a it's contextual, like card by card more than it is like the card type as a whole.
yeah, it feels like, like also like cheap equipment with high equip costs feel, like this feels
Yeah.
like silver inlaid dagger territory, so many humans, like +2/+0, +3/+0 if it's a human. And then also if you're like not including any artifact creatures, then you could extend it to no enchantment creatures, and then you could just have the shatter effects
Yeah,
if you wanted, like they would never hit a creature, and then
Mhm.
you like scatter them in it if you wanted. Yeah.
or
do think
even do goofy stuff where you like, what is it? It's like a magnetism card where you like steal an equipment. That's going pretty deep though.
Yeah, I'm concerned about making it such a focal point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was still
I don't
thinking
think
like
I
along
don't.
the. Go on.
Oh, I don't think you need to make it a focal point. But I do think that like the restrictions you are applying are going to take a lot of dynamics out of the game, and so where you can put dynamics in, I think you should. And equipment seems like something that's adds a different dynamic to the game, and just like adds decision points.
Like short sword instead of something like Rancor, because Rancor is goofy.
Well, Rancor is fucked. If you want to talk
Yeah,
about
exactly.
continuous value,
Yeah,
Rancor
that's
in
what
a
I'm
format
saying. Like,
in a place where you can't remove the creature on the stack, like is
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I-
I don't want to see anything over the mark, but like, I wouldn't be upset if I saw a bone splitter.
Yeah, I was going to say ones that things that or equipments and or auras that grant high power and low or zero toughness are going to be like colorless or maybe color agnostic versions of Death Touch, I would imagine, because but that still have some amount of play to them. Like a really high power creature with low toughness is just kind of like a Death Touch creature, um, which I think would be good for adding some ability to like some defensive ability, just making creatures that are able to trade really or relatively efficiently in combat.
This brings up an interesting problem.
Mm.
Making the opponent discard a creature
Discarding
card.
creatures.
So yeah, I wonder if this is an emblem thing that we had toying around with. I wonder if this kind of breaks the concept because then you're able to discard creatures to your gate. And then
I
they
don't.
don't.
Is there an issue with discarding creatures? Because
Well,
the creature
it's just
isn't die. It's
it
not
isn't dying.
dying.
That's true, but it is going to end up in Valhalla, and it didn't earn it. If you consider the graveyard Valhalla, maybe you have to exile creatures that you discard. They don't count.
Well,
In
it doesn't.
graveyard.
I that might be a like at a certain point. I'm like you might be like restricting yourself too far with the flavor.
Well, I mean, I
Like
think
I don't think I think you're the only person who's going to play this cube, discard a creature, and be like, "What the fuck is this? I'm breaking flavor. It didn't die." You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a huge concern to me.
I'll think about it.
Ruin Raider is heat. So good. It is recurring value, but it does have to get to combat. I fucking love this card so much.
It doesn't have to go to combat. You can keep sending lackeys out, and then
No. Oh my god. Wow. So sad. I always just attack with it because I have no fear.
You're very brave. I wish more were like you.
Mardu
Boys
Heartpiercer
that they
illustration
are
is
brave.
a banger.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
And the card's Citadel.
I like Rigging Runner. This is good. This works out. I like this. Little
Thoughts on Concordant Crossroads? Holds up microphone.
No.
Okay. Puts microphone away.
Okay, that was Raid. Back to Kaldheim. Although I do want to look more at Amonkhet after this, the non-exert stuff. Obviously, we'll
You've
have to
chosen an
exclude
excellent.
Balm. What?
You've chosen an excellent time because all the becomes tapped creatures are getting printed in the new set.
True. But how many of them will be worthy?
I guess by your narrow definitions, probably none. But I mean, Starfighter pilots can go to Valhalla.
Some say they're already in Valhalla.
That's the flavor break. They're there already.
Yeah.
This is Thor. This is Thor's bodyguard. He's already in Valhalla.
Space is in Valhalla. I like these little flash mess with combat.
I love those variants. They're so good.
Yeah, if you want to put in a really... Oh, that's right. You don't believe that artifacts can go to Valhalla. I was going to say the Cogwork Wrestler is the really, really broken one. If you want power outliers.
Yeah, well, Cogworks don't go to heaven like dogs.
So true.
I do love that card.
More than I expected. I guess -0 is fine, but minus a number is not fine. I'm just going to exclude those for now. And X. There we go.
Also no vampires, right? No undead of any kind.
So I feel like the Zendikari vampires do have an afterlife. But
Yeah.
And the Kaldheim zombies appear to go to Valhalla. The Starnheim, their equivalent. So undead is I'm loosely
You're right.
accepting.
I just saw Blood Tithe. I saw Blood Tithe Harvester and thought of it.
Yeah.
Nick put Kazali Ambusher in the chat, which is an awesome shout out. That card is so good.
Yeah, card is
Is that the one that if you have Forest and Plains? Yeah. Sick.
I love this card.
Yeah, that's great. That's real good. These will do. A monk and a rogue walk and do a blocking.
Yeah, I think Jeskai, yeah, I just think Tarkir in general also fits the vibes here pretty well.
The
Maybe not.
Mardu, yeah, most of them I think will.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
I'm okay with temporary flying effects, but I don't want any continuous flying effects. Because then you would just be avoiding combat. Like a coward. We were just getting to black. I think this would be difficult to trigger a bunch of times.
I will say one thing about the defensive versus offensive advantage is if things only care about going into combat and not about like being like actually attacking. I mean, like stuff can kill things that are attacking you as long as it's in combat. I wouldn't be overly concerned about offensive advantage because, like, if anything, typically defending is favored, like in Magic. Especially if there's not things like flyers. Like, I mean, I'm envisioning there being a lot of board states where nobody wants to attack. If you have like whatever 3 ground creatures apiece, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like I think it's a
Maybe-
solvable problem, but I do think that's potentially like a tendency.
Do you think this should be an attacking creature dice?
Well, that might swing it the other direction. Hard to say, but it does seem like it would be more
Yeah.
more flavorful. But you're also introducing combat tricks, or not introducing, but having lots of them, so that will tip the scales somehow. I don't know how, but somehow it will tip them.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, I put this in chat term. I wanted that point to be finished. Since this is a desert cube and since the vibes are so call time, maybe like a snow sub theme could be cool.
Mhm.
Just pointing that out.
But there's also an Amonkhet thing. Snows and deserts. I don't know.
Snows and deserts. A snow desert. Wow, it's just
Uh,
midwinter actually.
Yep, we got there. I have seen that in a lot of small deserts. I'm not opposed to it, but we'll see. The fact that a bunch of exert creatures from Amonkhet are key players, I'm not sure if that will pan out, but I'll think about it.
Is there an equipment thing at all?
Thinking about it, I don't know if I want to have to include all the counterplay for equipments versus a deck that doesn't have
What about?
equipments. Where you
Can I make one suggestion
Yeah,
for the
please.
card Slab Hammer?
Slab Hammer, where you bounce a land to get +2/+2.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I was gonna say I think that like you don't need to have an equipment thing. You could just have individual equipment, and that's not a big deal.
But you're obligated to include answers to equipment. So if there's combat tricks that also have a buyout equipment destruction mode, maybe if there's enough of them.
Well, are like in a theoretical world where I have 10 creatures in my deck and they have 9 creatures and an equipment, I don't really need a answer to the equipment because I'm like theoretically up one creature.
What if they replace one combat
Like-
trick with a permanent combat trick called Short Sword?
Right, but I think that the average combat trick is going to have mana efficiency and an advantage over the average creature with a short sword on it. If I have a giant growth and we both have a creature and we get into combat and yours has a short sword on it, my creature's going to win, and then you're going to have a short sword and I'm going to have a creature.
Okay. I will
Like
revisit equipment.
I think that like equipment aren't. You're going down something to include an equipment, and the thing you're going down is either interaction or a creature. I think that it's worth it sometimes depending on the equipment and what you do. So like I just don't think that it's like automatically
Okay.
necessitates interaction.
I will think about it. This seems sick because it requires combat and it kills a person.
True.
That card is very cool. The alt art I think is super sweet.
I do not like it as much as the regular art.
Very fair. Nick put Embreth Shield Breaker in the chat as an example of like, has the adventure. Embereth to use.
Embereth. Yeah.
And then Siege
Battle
Snash was like the first thing that came to mind for me, like split second, destroy target artifact, or
Now this is an alternate art.
combat trick.
Split
That's
second
the version I
worries
read on
me.
my cube. I love that all art.
Split second worries me, but I'm not out. These are cool shouts for sure. I will add them to the list.
If you have the Shield Breaker, you cannot include artifact creatures.
Correct. That was also mentioned.
Don't worry, we're already there.
I'm not including artifact
Okay.
creatures because they don't have souls.
Wow. Yoshin frontrunner in shambles right now.
I mean, that's why they were used in the war, because they were mass producible.
Shambles, I say.
Dude, Soulless Jailer makes so much more sense as a card name now. I get it. Because it's an artifact.
does this feel like you want to do human kindred themes, or you don't want to be that heavy-handed?
Human.
I think whatever. I think
Typal, you mean? Maybe.
Typal,
think
thank
that-
you. Typal, yeah.
Maybe I do not know yet.
however good short sword is, anything that says all my humans get blank is gonna be way better. I do think there might be like individual cards that will work, but like a blanket like Typal or Kindred theme seems like it would be very on rails and oppressive in the games.
It's not Kindred.
Because typically the best way to like the best like typically the strongest things in those archetypes are things that sit on the board and apply to all your other things, and then you can't get them out of combat. Like a Lord is really, really good in a combat cube because you never have to get into combat with it.
I mean, Battlecry seems incredibly on theme.
Oh, Battlecry is sick. That's very different.
No, I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
as like a Lord kind of thing. That's not like a permanent. You know.
Right, yeah. But that's tied to attacking as opposed to being tied to a creature type.
No, yeah. I'm just like in the market.
Or spitballing.
Yeah, I was thinking more like Silver Inlaid Dagger, which is in the chat, Kelvin.
Yes,
And
I know that my first ever deck that I played had Silver Inlaid Daggers in it. It's like a blue-white,
yes, yeah.
Born Knight, like terrible equipment human type of deck, like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I get-
that card is cool.
Yeah, I guess I'm just seeing, like, obviously we're gonna add so many humans from Call Time, Amonkhet, Tarkir when we get to that.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
if we I'm not thinking Lords, I'm not thinking Thalia's Lieutenant, I'm thinking
Right.
like this kind of like get this bad Bone Splitter with very minor upside if it happens to equip a human, because everybody's just gonna be drafting like half the creatures in this whole cube, probably more than half the creatures in this whole cube will end up being humans if I had to guess.
No, that makes sense.
Seems
I guess I
like
misread it.
I do think Battlecry is a great shout, though. Just great keyword in general.
Yeah, there were
Yeah,
two great hits on that.
I was
all the
hearing
cards have good art.
Ah, he dies and leaves his sword. This is the kind of equipment I like.
That's the kind that's not an equipment.
Yeah, metaphorical.
Yes, I would like to order 1 1/4 paladin, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Ikoria also obviously will have human stuff. I didn't even think of that, but
Yeah, Ikoria I think is going to be ideal for beyond just the keyword stuff. They definitely have human matter stuff.
how do you feel about these tap effects? Because you can't kill a
Tappers?
creature, but like, yeah,
Yeah,
what do you think about
I don't-
tappers in this case?
I don't like that because then this creature is not involved in combat and it's keeping something else out of combat.
Gotcha. So if it was like a attack trigger, target creature can't block,
Yeah,
or
there's a
attack
rocks
trigger,
with,
tap target creature.
yeah, there's a rocks with battle cry
think-
that's similar, and I like that.
I think you have to be really careful with those though, because they are notably really oppressive in combat only scenarios. Like the only way to beat one of those cards is to have like a significantly better board state than your opponent. In the context of this, like like the two ways that you beat them in regular limited is kill them or have a way better board state, but you can't kill them, so the only option is to have a way better board state
Already
or
be winning.
raise. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's a little rough. I do think you could probably find some, but you just have to be like really careful with that.
This is like almost
like
the exact same card.
One that looks innocuous is probably much better.
Same card, 10 years apart,
What?
15
Wait.
years apart.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
it
What
has
did
one
what
more
did you get in
power.
the? Yeah. So what did you get in the interim period? 1 point of power,
Well, no,
and that
'cause
is power,
it buffs
ladies
itself.
and gentlemen.
It buffs itself, so this one is only other, so you get the same result in combat.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I throw
Oh,
my
I think
hat.
like Survivor from Duskmorn also might be like one to search through, and then
yeah.
Nick in the chat put Bold Weird Intimidator, which just does feel thematically perfect.
That's cowards can't block warriors.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Famous
Maybe.
line of text.
But yeah, I guess it does provide value. Not getting into combat technically, it is 7 mana. But yeah,
Yeah.
Training might have some legs. Training and mentor are both you have to attack with me type things.
Yes.
How the
I'm
heck?
trying to think about which of those is less likely to be. It feels like one of those is probably mentor is going to be largely too strong, I would bet, because it is repeatable scaling as opposed to training, which caps out a lot faster.
This one is attacks or blocks, buffs other humans.
Yeah, that kind of card I think is neat.
I think
that's super cool.
it's almost better than the other two that we just looked at because they're 3 mana 2/2s or a 3 mana 3/2.
Almost, it's significantly better. It also
Well,
does it on
this-
blocks and gets toughness
thing has
and
never
costless mana.
this thing never has power 3 though. Those things both have power 3. I think this is generally better though.
Yeah, I'd pay 1 less mana and also trigger on blocks for
Yeah,
that.
also trigger on blocks, pretty
for
good.
that. Yeah, worth.
Well, that's a cool one.
And then like Keeper of Fables feels like a cool like pivot, like I don't know.
Fables
That
is
kind of
cool.
maybe not this exact card, but the kind of thing that like, because you're saying people are gonna draft a lot of humans, then you have like the kind of thing where
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure.
No, yeah, I don't like this one because of the out of combat value and good at blocking, but I think it's a good thing to look up to give an opposite draft angle.
Just toss some Chaosthon hollowed in there for no
Yeah,
good
here
reason.
we go. Here's the counterpart to the human gang.
There's also going to be a lot of effects from Ikoria that trigger through.
Oh, I
on
love
the
Wildwood
so-
Tracker. It's so cool.
Part of my favorite curve out in limited.
In Eldraine, I drafted 5 of these one time.
I think I also have played a 5 Wildwood Tracker deck. Yeah, the Eldraine curve of Wildwood Tracker into Halberd Gingerbrute. Attack for what is that, 5?
This feels like a
Turn,
reasonable equipment because it's really good when you play it. It's like a sorcery combat trick in that regard, but then it's difficult to move around.
I agree. I like it.
That's the kind of thing I would be interested in. And then it doesn't feel like it's necessary to have removal for it because they're paying 5 mana every turn to use it if you're killing what it's on.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
you
that's
just set some sort of like soft rule of equipment that has, equip 4 or more is acceptable, and anything, something like that.
I don't want to do this because this can just sit, not attack, and give you continuous value. You're likely to attack or block with it, but I also don't want it like just deterring bears from ever attacking you while deploying power for you.
This card seems like if you were to put it in the cube, it would likely be the best card in the cube.
Yeah, you'd also endlessly get questions about persist combo.
Excellent. On the same page. Good to hear. What about persist combo?
You would just endlessly get questions about persist combo if you put that in the.
Great.
People only play cubes with good cards in them, and so they don't think about that card as anything but a persist combo card, despite the fact that it's just kind of sick with it.
I have to keep adding game paper to these things.
Can't you? I think since you are logged in, I'm pretty sure this is a setting you can just set so that your searches by default never include.
That is probably true.
Arena stuff. Yeah.
This is accurate, and I have done it.
I am learning so much about Scryfall today.
I don't remember how I've done it, but I have done it.
It surely was put into a Cube Talk thread that I happened to see one week and just did it. It's probably been like mentioned a million times on that Discord.
We should
And
probably.
Greg is in Cube Talk, so that discourse has happened.
What was it? What's the two?
In your personal settings, you can turn off digital, and Universes Beyond stuff from appearing in your
Oh.
searches?
Yeah.
This seems like it might be too much. For some reason, 2 points of toughness being added on to your creatures feels like a big jump.
I mean, I think it probably is. Like most of the creatures you're adding into this, deck on Scryfall are like capping at 3 power. That's why like Silver and Lead Dagger was really just the first, bad Bone Splitter.
Yeah.
Really like jumped to mind at first to me.
Put it in chat, Kansas, so if you're looking for the setting.
Ooh, finally a Bushido cube.
Bushido seems like it has gone from bad to really nuts.
I love that mentor card being a 3/1, so it'll just always die. Also, yeah, Bushido's so funny. I remember distinctly like playing the 2-mana 2/2 Bushido 1 in an NEO draft, and then I played an NEO cube that swapped that card for Jade Avenger. And just like Bushido 2, it's just completely different.
Yeah.
It's like completely wrecked my day. Like the 2-mana, the original one was like, I don't care about this card at all. And then Jade Avenger just ruined my whole draft.
But you see, the secret is if you just read it as unblockable, it's actually kind of fine. That's the trick.
Oh, this is interesting. Prevent all non-combat damage. So it's just white combat tricks.
That
card is so fucked up. That card is way too good.
Not okay.
All right. Slamming the tab shut.
Yeah, that card is in one of my cubes and it kills people really.
It commits a murder. By the way, First Strike is something you should probably toy with very carefully.
I expect to be a bunch of first strike combat tricks.
Yeah, that's fine, but anything that statically has First Strike
that's what I mean. If you use a first strike combat trick, then it turns off their first strike.
Well, my problem is that First Strike combat tricks are statted with the understanding that the creature is breaking symmetry with First Strike, and so you will often be 2-for-1ing yourself to allow you to trade. I think, in the average creature with static First Strike, if I attack it and then with whatever, say they have like a 3/1 with First Strike, and then I attack it with my 2/2, and I'm forced to play a First Strike, I'm still 2-for-1ing myself to answer the static First Strike.
Yeah, I also just I personally, maybe this is not very accurate, but I personally think of First Strike as a pretty defensive keyword.
Yeah,
It's
so then like
immensely accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's like, I mean, they're good attackers, but they're like even better blockers. So like the stuff with like static First Strike that is just like a 2-power creature like favorably blocks like 60%, 70% of the cards you've added to your pile, maybe more, and then it's like, okay, it's really tough if you're like having to 2-for-1 yourself to get rid of that.
Yeah, like I think that a giant growth is actually going to be better against the First Strike creature than the average First Strike trick.
That makes sense.
Which again is not necessarily a bad thing. I just think that like caution is warranted.
Oh,
with First Strike
Flamingo is so
creatures.
cool.
I do love that card.
I assume that you are sad because it doesn't require it to attack.
Well, she'll continually probably risk herself in combat because of her Bushido X effect. And then if they have a Death Touch combat trick, goodbye.
How do you feel about like the various blue-black siren effects that draw attacks in, or goading effects?
Only if they risk themselves in combat somehow.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't want a creature that sits back and does that because that would necessitate removal to answer cleanly. I think I like attack alone as a kind of equipment stand-in, exalted type stuff.
This is my petition for contested Warzone.
Contested Warzone, the land.
Yes.
Hmm.
I think that's cool. I mean, I think it would be like really interesting to take a look at like this list and see how many warriors and samurai you have at the end,
Mhm.
because like, or at least the way I usually think about them in cubes is like they need to be good enough that them triggering on themselves is worth is like worth whatever
Yeah.
their stats are.
I agree.
Yeah, because like you can't. Yeah, okay, cool. But then, you know, like maybe there is like just a warrior samurai deck in this cube because that just makes sense, and then maybe it ends up being really good.
Mhm.
I'm not sure.
Hmm. This seems fine. Another target warrior gains double strike. Stats are probably low enough that it needs to risk itself.
Yeah, also the whole, you know, we haven't even really touched that hard on the whole desert aspect, but like 2 white pips there is like a completely different card than 2 and a white in a desert cube,
Mhm.
depending on how harsh you are with your fix.
I already looked at samurai. I forgot about that.
Guessing. I'm gonna guess harsh.
This one might be too much. I don't know.
Pork pack beast. Wah!
Sorry, Pack Beast. Kind of a dog, but not going to heaven. This is from MP2 is what they're called? That's weird. This cube is going to be so white. It's going to be like 3 blue cards. 91.
You should. I feel. I know this is going to be a challenge for you, but I do think you should consider color imbalance.
I will
Just
consider it.
based on the mechanics. Based on the mechanics you're looking for, it does seem like certain colors are gonna have a lot more interesting cards for the cube.
I will consider it.
All right, cool. Well,
You
listen,
did your best.
I got to put a carbon dioxide in interesting sounds for 30 seconds. So didn't change anything about the world, but I did it.
My general belief is that if you're color imbalanced, you haven't dug deep enough in the smaller colors.
Wait.
But I will consider
Is
it.
that your belief, or you're saying that that's the belief of the cube community?
No, that is my personal general belief.
Okay.
I don't think the cube community feels that way.
Okay. It's your least based belief, so.
You had to confirm.
Yeah.
Afflict is interesting.
I feel like it depends on the card, but certainly some.
You'll just agree with me that
there's-
it's a keyword.
No, I do think it's interesting, but I think that it's like there's some where I'd be worried that it's just sort of like don't block it unless it's like
So
immensely
Bushido.
profitable.
It's Bushido.
Yes, it's a similar mechanic to Bushido.
Does that still count as a player dying in combat? If they
I
block a
think that
creature
it.
and lose life to afflict.
I would say that the combat phase has not ended, so yes.
But it's not combat damage. But yes, I think
Huh?
I think I'm on the good side of this, but just worth pointing out.
I agree.
How do you feel about Skulk as a mechanic?
I generally don't like Skulk, but I'm willing to look at the 11 Skulk cards that exist.
It's a little tough because in the perfect world, it is disincentivizing combat. And by disincentivizing, I mean entirely preventing it from happening.
I just kind of think it'd be an interesting angle since everything else is like being bigger
Be
than.
big, yeah.
You're just kind of like, I don't want to stick around.
Yeah, I could see.
Because then you have to deal with a different problem there.
Yeah, it strikes me as pretty similar to flying, but just arbitrarily doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, but you can use giant growth on their Skulk creature and then block it.
I mean that is interesting. Like 2%.
That's all we need.
Is it?
Are you under the impression you need
low.
more than 2% interesting to be sold on something?
I mean I would hope so.
It just kind of seems like the opposite, just another choice to make rather than, who's taller.
This instant has some upside
Yeah,
recently.
I don't know if you can impact that choice so much as get lucky that your opponent doesn't have something that blocks you. Like if we were okay with flying, I think that Skulk would totally make sense, but we're not okay with flying, and so Skulk is kind of like flying, but you flip a coin whether or not it works, which strikes
Oh,
me
I
as
gotcha.
you know what I mean. But like if we're okay with flying, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure.
I love this.
I just kind of feel like it's not flying in the sense that it's always going to be evasive. I mean, I know, like you're
Yeah.
saying, like flipping a coin, but it feels like low flying. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
With the illustration on one of those white cards in your last search from Kamigawa, original Kamigawa block was really awesome.
From my
I'll
last
find it.
search.
And if you can, sorry, Command Shift
yeah.
T.
Yeah. I know what you mean now.
Yeah. And then,
Oh,
yeah,
100
this one,
talent
100
strike.
talent
Favor is
strike.
Yeah, I
sweet.
like that one a
Yeah,
lot.
this illustration is so sick. I've never seen this card before.
Pretty good.
You're able to click on
No.
the card art.
Yeah. If you do
Man.
download art crop right here, it just blows up the art real big.
And it's like every 10 minutes I've learned something new about Scryfall.
It's a very, very good website. Just so good.
This is the hidden value of attending these meetings.
How do you feel about prowess in this cube?
Very
With
positive.
the combat tricks?
I like prowess with combat tricks.
Prowess, yeah, but I guess it's like you want to worry or you want to focus on the stats a lot because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the best prowess creatures have more toughness than power, but then yeah, I guess I don't know. There's something there, but I can't finish my own thought.
Might avoid Monastery's Whisper rate, but generally positive on prowess.
Yeah, like
That tracks.
Elementalist Adept is so bad everywhere I've ever played it, but it might actually be cool here. The Foundation's Flash Prowess 2-drop.
All you have to do is cast 2 other combat tricks and not on it, and it will win its combat that it's in.
Yeah, that's why it's been bad everywhere I've ever played it.
Yeah, that tracks.
What did we
I
do
do
wrong
like that card
here?
quite a bit.
Oh, I didn't close that. That's the problem.
I don't know if that's. Ninjutsu question mark? Gonna be kind of tough. Gonna be kind of tough without
Interaction.
flying or evasion, but kind of interesting, I think, for the same reason.
Yeah. I'm interested in hearing it out. Let's add an 11th card
POV
to
ninjas
my.
don't go to Valhalla or some shit.
Yeah, let me add an 11th card to my red-white section real quick. Okay.
But it's okay. The colors will be balanced. Trust.
No making token. Show me ninjutsu.
Skulk ninjutsu.
Not an artifact creature.
Really getting skull, really pushing the skulk narrative.
I know what to say. I'm like, there's our flying.
Skulk jutsu, finally. A lot of the
I mean,
ninjas.
most of these cards inherently need combat to do something, which I think is
Yes, and I really like this one. I put this one in every cube I get a chance to do it. But yeah,
here is no exception. It's an enchantment, which
it's fine.
somehow, if artifacts don't have souls, enchantments must have more souls.
Yeah,
than a normal
enchantments
creature.
have the soul that the artifact creature gave up to exist.
I
got
see. This
the
makes no sense narratively, but I
Borrowed
believe you.
souls. It's a shame that that 3/1 that gives Death Touch and Lifelink on ETB is an artifact.
If you want to make Scott from New York,
Wait, do
laugh every
cyborgs
time.
have souls?
Oh, good question.
Sorry, continue the Scott thought.
You just put, if you put Takuchi Silencer in your cube, Scott will laugh every draft that he sees it
Because it's terrible.
Know the name.
because the name is silly.
Oh,
We
yeah,
can
I
talk about
guess that's-
cyborgs instead.
I think this has a soul. I don't think this is a robot. I think it's a cyborg, and that cyborgs in some cases do have souls.
It's a slippery slope, just like vampires, Benz.
I agree. I think we're gonna make vibes calls throughout.
The vibe call is that that particular creature just like really pissed off the Shatter players.
Okay.
They're gonna it's gonna get every Shatter in the cube pointed at it, which is very funny to me.
Oh yeah, we have to get rid of shatters if we do that. I forgot.
Is it worth it for the one rat cyborg?
Okay. Why type token appear in search? Don't do this. I agree that high toughness prowess is concerning.
This is rough. High toughness, I think, generally is going to be a little concerning.
I agree that high toughness is concerning.
No butts archetype. Noted.
No ifs, ands, or archetypes.
Butts don't go to Valhalla.
Only people's top halves go to Valhalla. Dies draw a card. Feels very Valhalla.
Well, you're in luck because there's so many of those.
Why do they keep putting prowess on flyers? Get out of here.
Yeah, if you want to fill out the blue section, you just find every card that says dies, draw a card on it. There you go. That's your
They're
whole blue
all
section.
going to Valhalla. Woo!
Yeah.
Getting on the blue party bus to Valhalla.
Yeah, what about Bestow? Bestow's an interesting in between the aura convo we had, and there's still creatures that will go to Valhalla.
Bestow.
Not Triton Wavebreaker specifically, perhaps, but
Bestow
like
is interesting.
Doomsdater.
Bestow, the word bestow feels Vikingish. Valhalla E.
Valhalla-esque.
We'll go with that. Valhalla-esque TM. What do you know?
This feels right.
Yeah, what about the Unicorn? Gives Mentor.
Unicorns don't have society.
Damn.
So having a soul, so it's have a soul and have
Well,
society,
you have
or
to
does having
sapience.
Well, my
Sapience and belief in Valhalla comes from being part of a society.
Okay, gotcha.
so far my favorite thing is people floating different cards and then Bones just making blatant statements like mites don't have culture and unicorns don't have society.
Hey, I'm here to reveal the truths of the world to you.
I'm not disagreeing with those statements. It's just that I didn't know that those were necessarily the criteria for some of our recommendations.
Well, yeah, there's something about it that just feels like very visceral, you know? Mites don't have culture.
Mites don't
Mike,
have culture.
wait, did you add Trade and Wavebreaker? I actually do think that card might be cool, at least to consider.
Yeah. Yeah, this could be a reason to play blue.
Yeah.
It's a little strong, but maybe that's what
Yeah,
gets
it's
in there.
strong. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
What about Abbott of Carol Cube? 2/1 prowess.
worth a shot. He's a monk.
It draws you a card, but you never play it on turn 2 if you want to draw a card.
Aisha is so cool, but
does-
she's just way too strong for this.
It does +1 without any value, which I have heard is concerning.
Arena athlete. I picked up this card at the LGS in the quarter bin because I was kind of ruminating on this concept. I feel like if you just keep ripping like interaction for this, like if you keep ripping pump spells, then he could just put you so far ahead that removal will be the only way out, especially because of double strike. It could be hard to give it a death touch kill.
I think however problematic first strike is, double strike is at least twice as
Probably
problematic.
twice problematic. Let's also not forget he has anime art.
Yes, a cardinal sin.
This anime art is like at least much more in line with the general Magic, like compared to some of the other ones. It doesn't stand out to me as much.
I agree. Meanwhile, Bones all of his cubes with like a Weebs Be Gone sign on the front of it.
Oh, I really like Heartfire Immolator. Oh, but it sacrifices itself
Yeah,
and kills things.
can't do
No.
that.
I love that card though.
Bully's welcome.
How do you feel about stuff like Butcher's Glee?
Does it regenerate, or is it +2/+1 lifelink?
Yeah,
it is regeneration.
it's both.
I think you should not cheat death.
Okay, fair enough. I wasn't sure if like just being that much hardier, but
Yeah, I don't think indestructible or triggers or coming back from the graveyard, like obviously not coming back from the graveyard, but I also don't think indestructible or regenerate or I think you need to have big enough toughness to survive, and if your opponent has death touch, you should have shrunk their power.
gotcha. I don't know. I just felt like a way to have hardier creatures without permanently buffing their toughness.
Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of ways to temporarily buff their toughness. Lease Hext. Lease Hext.
But
Hext.
you scroll past Pinnacle Monk. Does that seem it like always gets you a card back, but it's not a creature leaving the graveyard?
I don't like this DFC crime.
Okay,
I don't want anything to leave the graveyard. Another point, but
gotcha.
yes.
Okay,
Good-
not
good
just
question.
creatures.
Graveyard is forever.
The spells go to Valhalla.
Yeah, the spells also go away forever.
Okay, so mites don't have culture and therefore don't have souls, but instants and sorceries go to Valhalla.
Yeah, hopefully y'all are writing this down.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm recording it. It doesn't matter. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
you're recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
We'll have the complete truth of the matter.
Okay, well, if this is being recorded for posterity, I'm going to take this opportunity to say that Containment Construct is the coolest card in Magic. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Containment. I do that every time.
Containment
This is
Construct.
a discard a card, goes in exile.
No, I'm not recommending it for this cube. It
No, I'm
breaks
just
like every
I'm
single
just
rule.
confirming for the record.
Oh,
This
okay,
is,
yeah.
discard a card, exile it, you can play it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Card 6 fuck.
that is a cool card.
Yeah, but it
But
just
it
doesn't
has-
have a soul, so.
It has
Yeah.
neither soul nor culture.
It doesn't need to be here, but we just want to point out that it is a cool card.
On
It
on
needs to-
Kamigawa, it definitely has culture.
It needs to be everywhere.
It needs to be
Every cube
everywhere
should play
that it can be, which does not include here.
Everywhere. Yeah, the only cube I don't play it in is Bolt Cube because it
The
would be the
only
best
cube
card.
I don't play it in. What a sentence.
I don't see a problem with this. Is there a problem?
No, that's great. That's perfect. Enlist. Can enlist to be something? Oh, I promised to look up the 11 skull creatures first. Hold on. Then we'll look up enlist. Oh, 16. Wow, look at that.
How do we feel about how do we feel about threaten effects with no sack outlets?
I'm interested in threatens.
Cool.
I will be investigating threatens.
What is the card I'm thinking of? Is it Easy Prey? There's definitely like some kind of lure effect that I think would be kind of. It would be kind of cute to threaten and lure things.
What are we looking at before enlist? Taking a
I think
creature.
Enlist is like.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think Enlist is like uniquely bad as a mechanic, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
like six cards in there, and they're all uninspiring except for Guardian Nubinali, which is cool, but has like a year's worth of
So-
reading on it.
You're saying we should just use banding.
That's not any better. I think that any
Okay,
mechanic that is or is inspired by banding should be banished to the Shadow Realm.
We
Whatever
do
the
have a
opposite of
banding
Valhalla
cube in
is.
New York.
Bandished.
Oh my! The
Yavi
reason
Mile
why I
Steel
haven't gone to
Crusher.
your guys' cube event yet.
No, it's not at the event. Yavi Mile Steel Crusher is another answer to artifacts that, 2-mana 2/2.
But it dies out of combat.
Oh my
Makes
god,
the rule of the
no.
cube.
I hate this no sack thing. That it's like my favorite thing to do. Not favorite, it's one of my favorite things.
Aristocrat player in shambles.
Impossible to play this cube. I can't sack my own shit.
You just have to make bad blocks.
How do you play this? There's no sacrifice. Scroll and turns it sideways.
Is fight off the table?
That is a good philosophical question. I don't know.
It's an interesting one.
I like fight as the only like green white have premium removal because white can remove in combat without blocking and green can view fights. I think that's a hilarious.
Grixis is the I have no removal and I'm a scream colors.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or at least
Yeah.
they gotta like skulk about on, No, I'm done with that. But yeah, it just feels like if we're allowing, hails of arrows and stuff like that, I can see two guys beating each other to death.
I would like to state for Jake's record that captivating crew would be interesting. I'm not going to include it, but since Jake's not here, someone had to say it.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks,
I do
Jake,
like-
surrogate.
Threaten and lure effects. That's a really good idea.
Something tells me I didn't acquire a Mortis Dogs. What a fool I was.
Mortis dogs? What do you need that for?
Huh?
What do you need Mortis dogs for?
This cube of mine.
This cube of mine. Something about that
I'm gonna let
phrasing
it
is very,
shine.
very funny.
It's for actualizing absence.
Oh yeah. What a good cube name.
Although, thank you.
Heck yeah. 3 less to cast if you control a creature with menace. Let's go.
Eyes emoji, menace, mentioned. Mentioned this.
I also like this. That
Something?
you have to give them a plus counter to take their creature. So if they have something that like they just have a jump blocker, you just made their creature better.
That is cute.
Eyes emoji. Okay, back to berserking. So anyway, I went berserk. Oh yeah, I love keywords.
I'm so annoyed. I accidentally bought a Sultai Ascendancy instead of a Sultai Scavengers. What a fool. What a
Oh,
fool I was.
wow, embarrassing.
Me when I just wanted a 3/3 flyer and instead I'm surveilling 2 every turn.
Cringe.
Yeah. Noxious.
I like first strike that you can't block with. That's great.
That is a good one. I like that one there.
That's cool. That's great. That's wonderful.
You have found the one that is good.
Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst seems on flavor. Perhaps spectacle as well.
Fair to Fight ruined me in a game at Baltimore at the Baltimore Cube event.
What?
Roja just destroyed me.
Was that in regular cube?
Oh yeah.
Was it me? I can't. I don't
No,
know
no,
if it
no.
was. Okay,
No.
so
I was in Roja's pod. I think you were earlier that
oh
day.
yeah, I 3-0'd with a prepare to fight deck, and then also last weekend Greg 3-0'd me with a prepare to fight deck. That card is kicking ass and taking names in that cube.
Just as Anthony wants it to, Celestia.
It's true.
Yep. Card's nuts. Flanking.
Editor
Get flanked.
flanking
Get flanked.
is a mechanic that is.
Get flanked upon.
On a list of mechanics, flanking is one of them.
One of them
And
mechanics of
also,
all time.
all white creatures. Yeah, once again.
No. Giant growth killing this
There are
outside of
some-
combat is not ideal.
Wait, giant growth, huh?
Skulking Knight. I was like, oh, Skulking Knight would be perfect, and then you can just giant growth this and kill it.
Comes the target. Oh yeah, sure enough.
Bark Knuckle Boxer. Card names, baby.
Indestructible feels very not in theme though.
Yes. Ooh, Treetop Ambusher. Man, so many cool little weird designs that
Oh,
are just,
Dash. Yeah, Dash feels perfect. Yeah.
yeah, just right up like, oh, I've liked this card forever. I have no place to put it. So many little.
Like the weak Zergo, one drop Zergo.
Mhm. Oh, Death Creator Champion. That's balanced.
Yeah, perfect here. Ember Cleave in the combat focus.
Ragavan. Finally a home for Ragavan. Yes! Can't block. Must block. Combat tricks. Love to see it.
Is that card not acquire accrue value? Like, is this not the same as like something that taps?
Huh? This 3/3
Like, how is this different from?
Because you got to tap out every turn to do it. Oh, because it doesn't have to be in combat.
Exactly.
Okay, yes, I understand. I agree.
Though I think the card is cool
No.
in particular because
No,
it's
no,
very
no.
bad.
He's dead. You killed him, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, it's a lizard. Lizards don't have society or something.
Okay.
Scab Clan Mauler. Scab Clan Mauler.
The
Trample
problem,
keyword matters.
the problem I have with this card is that the floor and ceiling are very far apart. However, I accept.
Just get
What is
good.
the card I just? What is
Make
the card
them
I
get
just
good.
played? I just played a card recently. I put it in this cube, and Aiden looked at it and was like, "You cannot play this card. It's not okay." And it's a Bloodthirst card. I think it's like Scar something. It's a green 1/1.
Yeah, creatures with lesser power can't block.
Yeah.
I just put that in here.
And it's Bloodthirst.
Skargan Pit Skulks right here.
Bloodthirst 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Card's terrible.
Well, you should giant growth it and see what happens.
True. It basically has flying if you giant growth it.
Gotta put 10 copies
Vicious-
of giant growth in this cube.
It is the opposite of Skulk.
Yes,
It is.
the anti-skulk.
Vicious Battle
The-
Rager, famous barbarian.
Yeah. Block me, lose 5 life. Shame that Odyssey didn't reprint a lot of its barbarians, and that a lot of its barbarians show their age. Like a lot. Oh, Pack Tactics, let's go! One more keyword for the keyword pile.
Is Pack Tactics always attack? I don't think that's
Yeah,
true.
it is. It
I think
is
it's
always.
just sometimes.
It's always
Okay.
if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater.
I see.
That is how Pack Tactic work. Double Targnar's power and toughness. Yeah, boy. Yeah, buddy.
Gnolls get their time in the sun.
Gnolls have culture. Canon. Established.
I think that's very established, yeah. Sardian Cliff Stomper was in mono red cube. So such
it
a
seems
crime.
quite good in that cube. I'm interested in a desert environment. That could be cute. No, because it's so
Yeah.
good at blocking. Never mind.
Yeah, it's so good at blocking. No. Yeah.
Gabor is like, I want to add red to my mana pool. Let me sacrifice the creature on the Scryfall switch.
You know me. That's 2 lightning bolts. That's 8 damage. Hit them for 2 and then bolt them twice. Maybe the biggest issue with Survivor is the aesthetic. I just feel like all of these vibes-wise, maybe Defiant Survivor, but you manifest dread, so you can put a creature into the yard. So
I also don't want to face down Coward on the battlefield.
yeah,
This is the one that I am interested in from that search, because there's probably no way to tap it without putting it in combat. But
it's the least combative of all of the Survivors.
it's just stealth stories. Okay,
and
yeah.
it's the only one you want.
Get out
I mean,
of here, old man.
I wonder if backup has cool stuff for this
Maybe.
cube. Backup is
Maybe.
interesting in combat only. You know, give something else menace that normally wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Hanger Scrounger?
Valkyrie from Valhalla.
Bola Slinger. Go to combat. Tap something. I'm not sure.
Baby. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, this is acceptable.
Yeah, sorcery speed. Wait, does it have flash? It does have flash, right?
It does have flash.
Ugh. That card's good. I will first pick that card in this draft.
I think blue is largely going to be about shrinking power and giving
Get fricked.
maybe like spell pierce type stuff to stop enemy tricks from working.
Sorry.
How do you feel about Snapcaster Mage in that regard, since it's mostly just combat tricks?
No graveyard.
Ooh, I wasn't sure if that counted for spells.
No leaving the graveyard. Period.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I did ask. Shore
It
Up, I
would
feel
be-
like is a cool blue combat.
Shore Up is an impressive card. Holy.
Shore Up does not give a plus counter like Snakeskin Veil, which is something I am worried about.
But it does untap.
Magic Damper, that's the one I've been playing.
Wait, what do you mean you have been playing?
I've been
Is that-
drafting Final Fantasy, so
Oh,
I knew that I had been playing a shore
Fine.
up variant that was not shore up.
I was thinking playing as in included in cubes, and like it's been out for
No,
like
no,
a
no,
month.
no, no.
That makes sense.
It's been out for like a month. And I've been playing it every day in that month on Arena.
That's way too much of that. Yeesh.
Yeah, you're right. It
Of
is.
one mind. I
No.
don't actually think so. I don't actually think so.
This is Easy Prey that you referenced earlier, Kelvin.
In
You-
what capacity?
You said Easy Prey. You're talking about a different card effect, not this card, but you said the name Easy Prey. That's what that card is.
Oh, that's impressive because I don't remember doing that. I do know what Easy Prey is. It's a Giver Cube classic.
Oh, okay.
I played lots of Ikoria. Best deck I ever drafted was in Ikoria.
Best deck you ever drafted? Let's hear it.
Companion Loris, 5 Flourishing Fox.
Yeah,
and,
that's
and some other cards.
that's
Some other cards that
pretty good.
some other cards that didn't matter.
The thing is, talking about fights and bites, I think I do not want bites. I think I only want fights where you could get blown out by a giant growth.
Yeah, bites seem strictly not okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
basically just
agree with
murder.
that. That makes a lot of sense.
But a fight spell is a creature dying in combat, crosses fingers, cope.
Kind of. Okay. Just 400 cards to go through.
Easy.
Just 400 combat tricks.
There's only 400 combat tricks.
Not that many.
Battlefield Improvisation is a good name. Don't know if that's what I want to be doing here, but good name.
Wait. What's the like caliber of combat trick that we're looking for? Because like there's quite a large range. Some of them.
Yeah, giant growth has been named a few times. Does this feel like giant growth is
Yeah, I want giant growth
Like-
to be the standard.
the
The
standard?
standard. Giant Growth is like one of the best ones without adding keywords.
Well, I think Mortal's Ardor is comparable to giant growth.
Mortal's Ardor.
Keyword and lifelink. Sorry, plus and lifelink.
It's incredibly good.
Okay.
I think in a combat trick world, that's actually kind of bad, but like generically, like if you're in a combat trick mirror, I don't want to be the Mortal's Ardor deck, but if you're not, the card is very, very good.
Maybe you should try Ardor then. I take sharp breaths in. That counts.
I'll seize the initiative. Some people are gonna get, they'll hear
What
it
are-
from two tables over, and they'll get really mad.
Clever, I approve.
There's initiative in this?
What are the thoughts on adventure combat creatures?
Oh, is this too much? That seems kind of nutty.
This seems fine, honestly.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's okay.
What did you just ask before that?
I asked if adventure combat trick creatures are okay.
I don't think so.
Get fricked adventure combat trick.
Probably because you can leave the creature in exile.
That's
You'll
true.
never-
There you go.
Not
never,
not
ever
in
know.
Valhalla.
Yeah,
I am a fool.
we'll never know.
What if
Well-
the players promise to always cast the creature after the adventure?
Yeah, it's like they're like
Binding contract. You must cast the creature.
summoner pact. They're like packs. If
Yeah.
if you die, before casting the creature, you're out of a tournament.
You lose the game.
Yeah, you lose the match. You lose all future matches in this tonight.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you feel about bounces as like a non-removal way to answer combat trick that's going to blow you out? Like a
I
Bar's
th-
dispersal might be too strong, but
I
like
think
a
I'm
weaker
okay
bounces.
if they only target attackers. Attackers block.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
gotcha.
Like whisk.
That makes
Bounce
sense.
spells
That
in
makes sense.
bounce spells in a combat trick world are really good.
Yeah, I feel like if you
So-
gate
so
it
for-
appropriately, that is a reason to add blue cards. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you're having to choose between like a negate and a bounce spell, you're always playing bounce spell because it does the same thing as negate, but with the tempo, like a significant tempo swing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Not to say the T word. Just it mostly matters if you're trying to keep things like somewhat balanced. Seeing those two things next to each other. That might require some thought.
Well, this is slam dunk. This is what I like to see.
Yeah, that card's up.
Coat with Venom is also like something that you do to weapons in combat, so that's fine, even if it is dishonorable.
Creature goes into exile if you cast Coat with Venom on it.
Do not go to Valhalla.
No Valhalla for you.
Do not pass go. Oh, I like Sugar Rush a lot, but I played a lot of Wild Will Drain. Rebound. Fine with that. Fine with non-creatures going to exile that then leave exile. Given that Giant Growth is the standard, should I just have red Giant Growth? Probably not.
Yeah, I feel like red has other things in combat trick land that green doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Just like straight up color shifted. Doesn't feel as exciting.
Yeah, I agree. Already put in
I like
Furious
Furious
Resistance.
Bellow.
What?
Oh.
Oh, Bellow. Yep.
I like Bellow a lot.
I feel like there's a different 3/0 first strike besides this one that I remember liking, but I'll have to see if I can find it. Oh, that's an interesting one. Split up trample or give one thing big trample. Pedal to Metal was so crazy in Aether Drift. Just dump all your mana.
Saw
Okay.
hatred earlier. That one's just goofy.
Okay, I love this. You get first strike and your opponent's creatures lose first strike and double strike.
Does seem quite strong. Interesting too that you have to play it second, right? Because they can cast a first strike trick afterwards.
Yes, yeah. Which is, I think, fine. That's counterplay.
Yeah, no,
no, it's
that's
unintuitive to the flavor.
yes, I agree. That is true, but I was more just fascinated by the by layers, less by caring about what that meant for the card's inclusion.
Oh, first strike and trample? That's pretty
Sign
good.
me up.
That's pretty good. I feel like we're not going to need snakeskin veil effects as much here because most of the enemy things are just going to be giving you minus power. This is a neat decision, but it kind of invalidates giant growth. Or giant growth makes this look bad, I should say. I like these little 1-mana convoke combat tricks.
Yeah, those are cool.
A couple of things to do while you are tapped out. Okay, just 3. That's fine with me. The goat. +1/+3 and untap may be worth the maybe worth making the reach trinket text most of the time. Might of Old Cross is interesting. You get the bonus before they block or after they block, and it's a different bonus.
Hopper infect staple.
Infect, modern infect staple too.
Ah, I didn't follow modern when infect was available.
No Phyrexian pump spells because you could kill yourself outside of combat.
So no Phyrexian spells.
Yeah. Yeah, I like these rebound cards a lot.
Oh, there was a convoke spell, Selesnya convoke here. On the left side,
Dark Shell Blessing?
Mark show.
That's
Yeah.
Conspire.
Did you? Oh, conspire. I misread.
That's okay. There's a Selesnya card on the right. But no, yeah, we already looked at all the convoke. It's all good. Okay. All right. As we approach the 2-hour mark, I think this is a fine point to give it a pause and show the next step in the process and then wrap it up. So I've got a big chunk here of cards that we've added to the list. Copy it. Go to list. I had to put in a card. I put in the first card with Valkyrie in its name. We're going to import our text. And then cut that Valkyrie that I had to add.
Whoa, more red than white. I'm surprised, to be honest. I guess it's the creatures.
Yeah, well, it may be in every respect. 12 spells versus 12 spells. So it is just the creatures. You're right. It is just the creatures. Yep. And exactly 12 of blue and black. That's funny. But yeah, okay. So from here, so I've got my kind of base started off. So then the kinds of things that I would be looking at next to flesh it out would be like we did a couple things like Finn the Fangbearer build around, so now I'm going to look at like every creature that naturally has Death Touch. We already got a bunch of our combat tricks in place, but as I'm adding more cards, I'm sure I'll think of more combat tricks. Oh, we talked about adventures, and then I totally forgot that we already included Ember Shieldbreaker. But I don't know. I'm still not completely sold on the presence of artifacts, and as a result, how much artifact answers there will need to be. But this is kind of how I get a list started, and then I just start tinkering with it and let it take over my mind for about a week, and then at some point I will have a good number of cards. We didn't even touch on the desert nature of it, so it may be an uninteresting like stock 80 lands, some of which are multicolored, some of which aren't. But I'm sure there's some way to get them interesting. Oh, the 13 life or less lands from Duskmourn will be really cool, I think, to give you that kind of like bloodied inspiration to improve your lands because you're getting close to death. It's just a thought.
I agree.
But yeah, thanks for joining. That's pretty much my process.